Hello, my name is Christian Sees. I am the owner of Integris Financial and vice president of the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. Super excited here to have another episode of our Wayne Chamber Chat podcast. With me, co-hosting, we have
I'm Gary Law. I'm a sales executive with Chicago Title, and I'm a member of the Wayne Chamber.
awesome and super excited to have a very important person of the community who does some amazing work, Erica Fischer-Kaslander. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So happy you're here. So happy you're here. So one of the really quick story, when I got introduced to CASA, and I had this conversation with, we'll get into CASA, Child Focus, and all that stuff in a second. But when I got introduced to the organization you're with, was during COVID, and we had the signs all over town.
Yes.
They were everywhere. And I'm like, what
I
is
didn't
this?
realize that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know what, like, for me, it just was like a home thing. I almost thought they were like real estate signs at first. And then like everyone had one. Like the mayor had one in his office. I'm like,
He had it on the podium in front of his daily pandemic
Yes.
video,
Yeah.
which was not what the intention was, but it was a really good sales tactic.
it was, yeah. So they were everywhere. So why don't you tell us about Child Focus?
So I'm the executive director of the organization now known as Child Focus. We have been headquartered in Wayne since 2008, only a year after we opened. And I've been the executive director since the organization opened, which was 2007. And about
So did you help start it then?
I was the first executive director that was hired. So we originally had a group of, I'll say, steering committee members that changed into our board of directors eventually. And they had secured funding to hire an executive director for a year to kind of, get it kicked off the ground. And I was that person that they hired. So
Okay.
I was either in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the right time, depending on what day you ask me.
Yeah, now you can't leave.
Yes.
So you were there at the very beginning of, was it this chapter or is there multiple chapters?
So it's a complicated answer, but so CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. There are over 900 CASA programs across the whole country.
Oh, wow.
Including 11 in New Jersey, covering all 21 counties. So every county in New Jersey has a program that serves the children in their foster care and family court system. During COVID in 2020, we were invited to apply for a federal opportunity to bring a separate additional program, also working with children in foster care, called the New Jersey Safe Babies Court Team Program, to New Jersey. So we expanded our services to provide kids in foster care with a lot more than just the traditional CASA program. So because of that is why we rebranded in 2023, early 2024, to become Child Focus. So we changed the agency's name, the umbrella agency, to be Child Focus, because we were doing more than just the traditional court-appointed special advocacy services. We still do that. That is our flagship, largest program, and we provide those services for kids in the foster care system here throughout Passaic County, but also in Union County as well.
Union County too. I remember that.
Yep.
So the advocates, there's definitely individuals from our community right here in Wayne who participate.
A ton, yeah. When we run our demographics, Wayne is the number one zip code for advocates. So
That's awesome.
Really proud of that. And Wayne's my hometown where I live and I'm raising my kids, so it's really great to know that
the community is a part of
absolutely.
it. I want to, we don't do this just yet, but I want to get into maybe even asking you how our business community can help you guys out. But hold on to that. Keep in the back of your head for a second.
You don't have to ask me that twice.
One of the things that really impacted me when I got to meet Courtney. It was at one of the business breakfasts that the mayor's group puts on, the corporate appreciation breakfast. And, we connected, we were sitting at the same table. And then, COVID happened, and I remember we were having a conversation about needing school supplies. And that year we helped start Project Backpack, which was awesome. It was great. But the most impactful thing, I think, for me through that whole process was why it was so important for a child to have their own backpack. Because if they had to move from one home to another, at least they had something that was theirs that they could put their things into.
Yeah, and during COVID, it was, school supplies and backpacks are critical for kids in the foster care system every year, any year. But during COVID especially, because they didn't have that school base, most of our kids didn't even have access to, some of the hybrid days that some districts did.
Right.
And knowing that they were home, if they were lucky with a Chromebook, sometimes they didn't even have that in the very beginning of things. The school supplies that they were able to get through us and through your support was really.
But you
that
guys
was
still
it.
do that, right? That's
Absolutely.
something that's
That's an
done
it.
every year. It was like
Yep.
that year was just different because
It was different. We needed more that year because, usually kids get the core stuff from home, or in our case from us when they don't have a stable, foster home or biological parents to support them.
right.
But during COVID, they needed everything. They weren't going to school and getting the little extra stuff filled in because they weren't going to school
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, there was even more need that year.
Now, you came in as executive director, you said.
Yes.
So were you doing work like this before, or was this your first time?
Oh, before I
Yeah,
was
before you got-
hired?
yeah,
I worked previously as for a private adoption agency doing birth, parent, and special needs adoption counseling and placements. So
you were
similar.
You were
but
different, but
Yeah.
in the realm,
yeah.
in the child realm.
Is there a story, or is there a story that you can share that really impacted you?
Oh, in 18 years, there's a lot of stories.
What is there one that really stood out?
What is the one that really
Or one of the
stood
few,
out?
yeah.
I mean, the thing, people hear what we do,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, they usually have two reactions. It's either, oh, that must be so hard, I could never do that,
Yeah.
or that must be so meaningful, I would love to do that. And I always say, no matter what the reaction is, people have their own personal background that they're bringing to that initial thought process. So, growing up, I have my youngest brother, I'm the oldest of five. My youngest brother moved into our family, was adopted when he was 12 from West Africa. And he didn't speak a word of English. So that was, changed our entire family structure, but also changed just my experience
Sure.
as a teenager. I was
Had
like,
an
all of a
impact,
sudden,
yeah.
had a huge
Yeah.
impact. My husband is the oldest of, I'm like, how many siblings does he have? Wow. Hopefully he doesn't
right?
watch this. Yeah.
John, don't look.
Yeah.
John, look the other way.
My husband is the oldest of 7, 5 of whom were adopted actually from New Jersey's
Wow.
foster care system.
Oh, wow.
His youngest 5 siblings were adopted at various points and ages. And obviously those are my in-laws. So it is a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
part of our life. It's a huge part of my day-to-day. So yes, there is tons of individual stories of kids that we have helped, through the Child Focus and CASA program, because I've been there so long.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them now are adults, and I'm going to a graduation next week for a little girl I met when she was 3.
Wow.
And she's graduating nursing school
Wow.
next Wednesday.
Wow.
So I'm,
Wow.
I said to her, I'm like, I'm just going to sit there and cry the whole time. So be prepared.
Wow.
There's another young man that I met probably right when we opened, maybe in the first year or two. He was in high school, obviously in the foster care system. And he's, now he's a fully grown, mature adult, which always kind of throws me off. But,
Sure, yeah.
he's graduated and he's now working also in the field, in the social work field. And every time I, have the chance to see him and
extraordinary.
catch up with him, it's just, I feel like I'm not old enough for him to be working because I remember him as a 17-year-old yesterday. But, it is great to see that, because not every story has that happy ending or has that level of success. We know statistically kids who are in foster care have trauma that most people can't imagine. And they're not always happy endings. But we do know that the work we do helps make sure that even when there's not an ideal, perfect ending along the journey, that they had support and they knew somebody was caring about them.
Now, remind me, when someone gets assigned an advocate, are they typically with them through the whole process?
As long as the court case is open, then their advocate is, stays involved and is still assigned.
Right.
So they're eligible as soon as they removed from home. So as soon as they enter, foster care, there's an open court case. We get a referral from the judge, and advocates are assigned as quickly as possible, as long as we have those volunteers available, which is why we're always desperately in need of volunteers. So we have hopefully a group of volunteers waiting to be assigned rather than a group of kids waiting for volunteers, which
Now-
unfortunately is what it is right now.
And a volunteer, just to be clear, it's not a foster parent.
No, not
This-
at all.
And so this volunteer, so if anyone is interested,
Good segue.
yeah, good segue. Yeah, segue.
So it's a volunteer advocate. We use those words kind of interchangeably, but they are the court-appointed advocate assigned to one child or one sibling group, if there's brothers and sisters, who are in foster care due to abuse or neglect. They don't live with them, so they're not foster parent. They are responsible to really get to know the case, get to know that child and their situation, as well as anybody else, if not better than everyone else. So when the case goes to court every couple of months, they go to court with all the other attorneys and with the other professionals. They submit a written report to the judge saying this is what's currently going on. this is what's in the child's best interest, making recommendads. And again, that cycle repeats. They visit the child face to face every calendar month. So at least once every 30 days, they have to go out in person. And usually they're going to go to the foster home or to the group home and see the child where they're living. Sometimes they, depending on the circumstances, they might be going instead to visit the child at school or at a daycare or, sometimes they see them in other settings, but usually it's in the home.
Right.
What kind of experiences or like what do they need to become a volunteer?
None. I always say everybody's like, oh, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a social worker. I'm like, we have a lot of those. We don't need any more. we need people who have the time, the flexibility, obviously the right, the right personality, that they're able to remain objective. You can't let your own personal opinions and biases kind of color what you're thinking about the case, because we're all coming from different backgrounds. We train everybody. There's obviously a very intense training process and background check screening process. And so that's why when I joke about, none, it's because we are prepared and we plan on training everybody for something that you need. If you're coming into it and we think you need to know, this, and this, we're going to give you all of that background. The stuff I can't train you on is your flexibility and your patience and your understanding. Right. So we need people to come in that I'll say have the right dedication, the right level of commitment, the interest in doing this type of thing. But in terms of technical training or experience, they have to be at least 21 years old, just because we can't run background checks on people under 21.
Sure.
But other than that, there's no specific academic background or professional background that's required.
How many advocates do you have today?
Not enough.
How many more would you like?
We have a little bit more than 300 kids in foster care in Passaic County each year that are eligible for an advocate, and another about 275 in Union County.
Wow.
We have, since before COVID, since about 2018, we were able to serve 100% of the Passaic County kids up until this year.
Okay.
We have seen about a 20% increase in the number of kids coming into foster care in the last year, and even more drastically, really, since January of this year. Variety of reasons. It's too early to really
understand it.
Say where the data is going, and I mean, maybe we'll be lucky and it's a spike and a fluke and it'll even out, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. So right now we have about 30 kids on our wait list. So just to catch even, we need another, say give or take 30 advocates. Some of them are sibling groups, so it may not be exactly 30, but we're always recruiting. We have a training class actually starting in May in our Wayne office, and then in the fall there'll be 2 more classes in Wayne.
And if someone's interested, there's a section on your website.
On the website, yep.
Which is
childfocusnj.org, and you can just click the volunteer button. There's all kinds of information. Obviously, there's a process of applying and coming in for an interview. But check it out and give us a call.
And how long is that, like that training piece?
The training, it's 36 hours of classroom training.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, I would say it's not that bad.
No, not at all.
It's a lot less than a lot of other things people do in life.
Yeah.
And we have it structured in a couple of different ways, hopefully that it can be more accommodating to different schedules. So like the class that's this spring is a evening class 2 nights a week across 5 weeks. In the fall, there's one that's daytime, so it's 2 mornings a week, like 9:30 to 12 or 12:30. But the same across 5 weeks. And then there's another version that's more condensed that'll be in the fall.
Okay.
That's a shorter daytime, but then also includes like a Saturday, so you can bang it all out and get it done in 2 weeks. But it's obviously a little bit more intense. But hopefully, we always kind of flip the schedules around so people can hopefully accommodate depending on everybody's got different work schedules and different flexibility, and we want to make that possible.
Right, and especially there's those kids that have a need, so you want to get them someone.
Absolutely.
So you don't want the class to drag out too long. I get that. You want to get someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
What are other ways that people can help contribute besides just volunteering?
So we're a nonprofit organization. I would say one of the biggest misconceptions about the work we do is that people think that we are part of the court system or part of the state child protective system. We intentionally are not. We're an independent nonprofit corporation, so we can maintain our objectivity and our neutrality when we're making recommendations in court. Sometimes it goes against what I'll say the state wants or they've budgeted for, because it's what's in the child's best interest. That's what we're going to fight for. So for that reason, we're not paid on I'll say on a fee for service scale in a contract with the state or with the county. We're not paid on a per head you serve so many kids. This is your annual contract and amount.
Yeah.
So that's all positive, and that's been great from a program standpoint. But it leaves us needing to constantly fundraise. So we do several large fundraising events every year. We're
One
always
of the
looking for
highest
donations.
rated tricky trays
Top
in the
three.
state of New
Top
Jersey.
3 in the state.
Yes.
We are very proud.
Yeah, yeah.
If
You
you're
should
from
be.
Passaic County, Tricky Trays has bragging rights. Everybody knows.
You should get a T-shirt.
We
made.
should.
Top 3 tricky tray in the state of New Jersey. Could be number 1 in northern New Jersey.
It
Maybe. Who knows?
could be, yeah. Well, when it's time to vote, it's done on a popular vote. So maybe the entire chamber this year will come out and vote
There we
for
go.
us, and we'll make it
share
number
it. Yeah,
one.
we'll share it.
There
That's what
you
she
go.
needs.
That's what
That's
we
what
need.
she
We need
needs.
to
That's
be
why you're
voted
here
number
today.
one.
Number
Now we
one.
know why you're here. Yeah. We talked about businesses in town. We're I don't know, we're about 170 members or something in the chamber, growing every day.
Yeah.
So happy to have you guys be a part of it. If someone's watching this, man, I'd like to get involved as a business. What can they do?
Businesses are our favorite partners because we've been a longtime member of several chambers, but Wayne since it started. I have been on the board of Patterson Chamber and Tri-County before that. So it's critical to our day-to-day work as sponsors of events like they were talking about, but also just helping us spread the word. A lot of our business partners help by using their presence in the community, whether it's a storefront or an email marketing list, by helping us, send out a flyer or put up a poster. The fundraising aspects, if there's events that, 10% can go to a specific event. We have a amazing partnership with Willowbrook Mall, which is obviously a huge business in our town, in our county.
Yep.
Throughout the year, Willowbrook does a couple of special events that benefit us, their holiday Santa Claus thing.
Great.
In the they always do a big holiday gift collection
awesome.
at Santa Claus that
Yeah,
comes to
that's
support
great.
our kids. So anything, the more creative the better, because we like to do partnerships that are meaningful and specific to the type of business, and what works for one organization or one corporation doesn't necessarily work for the next. So we have a lot of really custom conversations with different businesses over the years, and we love to do that because we have a heart for being creative too, and it lets my staff get
get the juices
get
flowing.
to do something a little bit
it's
different
good.
in partnership.
Yeah.
And just build more relationships because the people in your business, I don't know, or you don't know. So
Sure.
Collectively, I think it always helps the business at the end of the day too.
So has Wayne been good to Child Focus?
Wayne is very good to us. Yeah. It always has been. We've like I said, we've been in 3 different offices within Wayne in the last 17 years. I'm not looking to move anytime soon, but if we are, it won't be outside of Wayne.
I remember when you guys were expanding
Yes.
and someone hit a water pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
July 9th, 2021.
start shaking.
I was going to say, not that the date is stuck in my head at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst days of my professional life. 24 hours, the Wayne Fire Department, the Wayne building inspectors, businesses I didn't even know came forward to help us. I think it was somebody you knew that had the pod business.
It might have been Rachel.
Yes, I think it was.
It was
somebody,
Rachel
yeah.
Nevsky.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden a pod
We were
showed
all
up in our
talking
parking
about
lot,
it,
and I
yeah.
was like, I don't know where this came from, but thank you. We needed it.
Yeah.
It showed up, and I didn't even know we needed it. We had another construction business from town donated a trailer for like an office trailer. We basically worked out of that office trailer in our parking lot for 4 months.
Right.
But yeah, Wayne has been, every point in term has been there. So I couldn't imagine working or living in another town at this point.
Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne's been great. So one of the things I'm interested too is understanding, are you guys going to expand any further? We got Passaic County, Union County. Like, what is there a next plan? Because even like, I would love you to talk about
Tell
this.
me secrets.
I would love for you to talk about even like the store you have. You guys still have the store?
Yes.
Let's talk about the store.
Yeah. So we say under the Child Focus umbrella organization, we have 3 programs. The first is the one everybody knows is CASA.
Right.
The second is the Safe Babies Core Team program, which I talked a little bit about, and we run that program in Hudson, Essex, and Passaic counties.
Sure.
And then our third is the one that everybody I think has the most fun with is the Open Door store.
Right.
Which is literally what it sounds like. It looks like a store. It's like walking into a children's boutique. It is within our office. We opened a second location about a year and a half ago inside we have a satellite office in downtown Elizabeth for our Union County cases. Okay. So we do have 2 locations of the store now. And it is it's a boutique. I don't know what else to call it for children who are in foster care. Obviously there's no money exchange for the kids, but we want them to be able to have the opportunity, have the agency to come in and hopefully shop for themselves, pick out what they like. You know, I have 2 boys and if I pick out anything for my own sons, who I feel like I know very well, 90% of the time I come home and they're like, I don't like that color, or that's not cool anymore. I'm not wearing that.
Right.
So I know how hard it is to shop for kids that I know super, super well. When you have a child coming into foster care, usually the caseworker, the foster parent may only know that kid for a couple hours. Yeah. And we need to get essentials, if not more than that. So number one, it is there so we can hopefully let the kids have some control. They've lost control over almost every aspect of their life. But if it means they can just come in and pick out the hoodie that they want and the color shoes they want, then that can mean
like a normal, like a normal experience.
Exactly.
Like a normal. Hey, I'm going shopping.
That's theirs,
yeah. Like I'm going, and hey, this is mine, right? And I remember seeing diapers there, and
we have everything from like essentials, toiletries, and even for our teenage girls, feminine hygiene products, diapers and wipes and things for babies. Socks and underwear. A lot of our kids are coming in, or most of our kids are coming into foster care, obviously not planned in emergency situations.
Right.
So whether that emergency is, on a late, evening or over a weekend, the state caseworkers who are the ones actually removing children, they have our after hours phone number. They know how to reach us if there's an emergency. And there's, I'll say plenty of nights and weekends that we get phone calls and said, hey, I just, have this kid, we're sitting in the emergency room. He has no clothes. Can we pick up something? Can you drop something off? We had a child a couple of weeks ago, a young teen whose clothes had to be taken into evidence because of the situation that he was entering foster care as a result of. And, this caseworker,
what do you do?
The caseworker called the office and said, this kid is in a giant T-shirt at police headquarters and I can't drive him anywhere. He literally had no other clothes on other than his T-shirt. So, we packed up what we thought was appropriate and brought him clothes down to the police station. So, it meets those emergency needs, but then it also hopefully on a more scheduled basis, ongoing for kids, as long as they are in foster care, they know that they have access. We make appointments. We make it very much like a specialty shopping experience. The kids come in, there's staff who help them pick things out, and we have a little area that they can try things on. They check them out, so we can keep track of what sizes kids are, and we kind of know what sizes we're in need of, or if we have a donor, we have a business who calls and says, hey, I want to do something, what do you need? We can say, right now we're really low on boys size 4T clothes, or whatever it happens to be at that moment. That
was going to be one of my questions. Like, how do you guys supply the store?
We have an inventory system, just like any other retail business. And despite the fact there's no money exchange, we do keep very good records. I'll say the manager, she would hate me for calling her that, but the person who oversees the store.
The overseer.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's much better. Is Nancy Barbary, who many of you from the chamber know. Nancy was the general manager of Willowbrook Mall for many, many years. She is retired and she's been on our board since then. So
the store champion.
Yeah. So Nancy's retirement gig is really overseeing and keeping the store up to speed and everything. So we're happy to have it's stocked by everything we're talking about. It's stocked by a ton of corporate partnerships. We have a lot of retail stores who at the end of a season overstocks, returns. We only take new things for the store. They do have to be new. But that doesn't mean that it's one size fits all. So we have a lot of, in Wayne, we've had a ton of partnerships with the different school groups, different sports teams. At the end of a season, they do some type of an event, and rather than pay, you bring a thing. We just got a ton of socks last week from, I'm going to say it wrong, so I'm going to pretend I don't know, but I think it was Cub Scouts. One of the scout groups. My kids were never in Scouts, so I'm sorry if I'm insulting Scouts. One of the scout groups from, I think
the Scouts do a lot.
Yes, they did a whole sock drive. And so we have socks, hopefully, for the rest of the summer now. We have enough socks.
Right.
But that's the kind of thing. Like, it sounds simple, but when a kid is coming into foster care, they don't come with socks. They don't come with underwear, Right now we're in the prepping for summer season. A lot of our kids are going to be going to summer camps and other things during the day. They don't have bathing suits. You get the checklist from your kid's summer camp, even if it's a day camp. Bring a beach towel, bring a bathing suit.
You just go and grab it, right? And for them, they don't.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of, we get phone calls often during the summer of oh, well, Joey couldn't swim today because he doesn't have a bathing suit. And now we're scrambling trying to find the right size bathing suit. So even those little things make a huge difference. So whether, it's a community group or a church group or a business that wants to do a collection, or it's their own product that, they're looking to donate, we love those kind of things.
Right. Yeah, that's important. And you said all sizes, right?
All sizes. I mean, I always say even adult sizes, because our teenagers really are adult sized.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So infants to up to, we serve children and infants all the way up to 21. So all sizes.
Till 21.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you're obviously you're taking care of them when they're young, and we're hearing the basic needs, but we're also hearing okay, we're gonna kind of help put you on your path for life.
That's, if necessary, that's the goal. Yeah. I mean, our goal is that every child is placed in a safe and permanent, stable home, hopefully with parents who are going to be that guiding force.
And then at that point, is the case closed if that happens?
Yeah. So the case closes by the family court either when a child is adopted, when a child is reunified and things are stable at home, which is always the
great.
priority if it's ever whenever it's safely possible.
Sure.
But unfortunately, adoption and or reunification is not possible for 100% of our kids.
Gotcha.
We do have usually teenagers who, for a variety of reasons, age out of the foster care system, which are the kids who end up being the 18 to 21. I don't know about you guys, but if I was, given a bag of my stuff at 18 and said, go ahead, go figure it out.
Go figure it out. It's tough.
I wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't have been able to.
With no support.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I grew up, with great family support.
Right,
and
imagine not having that. Yeah,
and I still couldn't have done it at 18.
Right.
So
some of us think we can.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
My 15-year-old probably thought he could do it right now, but he doesn't know any better.
Christian.
It's myself. But no.
Yeah. So our, the advocacy is still court advocacy from a technical standpoint. The responsibilities of those volunteer advocates is still the same, but it definitely looks different when you're advocating for a child or for a young adult who's going to be on their own in a couple of years or very soon. It looks a lot different than when you're working towards a case that this child's going to be adopted by a relative and they're going to have that family support. So it ends up being a lot of life skills, a lot of job coaching, and how do you apply to colleges? How do you get a driver's license? How do we budget? How do you shop for things that actually are healthy for you?
Right.
A lot of life skills kind of things.
Is that something the advocates are doing, or do you guys kind of, okay, I don't know if you brought in maybe some volunteers to help with that too?
No, well, obviously the advocates are volunteers. We do a lot of training that the advocates kind of do in order to better support so we have a partnership with a couple of the banks that they do financial literacy training, and we'll provide that for we'll provide that financial literacy for the kids. Often we actually encourage the advocates to go so they know how to support the kids, because it's it's one thing that you put a child through or a young adult through an hour workshop, they might get something.
It's hard.
But the reality is that when push comes to shove, the question usually comes in the middle of something else, and that financial literacy person is not going to be there in that moment. The advocate's going to be.
Sure.
So we usually tell the volunteers, do this workshop with the child you're supporting. So when they have a question in a month from now and they're trying to fill out their FAFSA for college, you've both heard the same thing.
Right.
Hopefully. So
no, it makes sense, because if you don't know how to do it yourself, how do you teach someone else how to do it? That's kind of like me with math as the kids got older with Common Core math. I know we said we weren't going to talk about anything controversial, but Common Core math, that's not right what you did. You had to relearn it to teach it.
I didn't. I just used ChatGPT.
I wish I had ChatGPT with my kids.
Like elementary math teachers. They all know at this point.
Right now, there's a group of moms cheering. Yeah,
they all know. Erica Kaslander. But don't give her credit.
It could teach you. It could teach you how to do it. But yeah, you know what's funny? So, like we're talking about ChatGPT, like to these children as they get older and young adults, so they have access to something like that. Even like like maybe through school they might, but do they have a computer or a phone at home where they could even access something to go learn about financial literacy or something like that?
It's very case by case. A lot of times they don't. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of the kids now do have Chromebooks from school just because most of the districts issue them, which is another very controversial topic. If I could put my kid back in an Amish one-room school with a chalkboard, I would.
Right.
I actually tried to have the Chromebook taken away, and I was told that is not allowed.
Oh, really?
Wayne Township calling you out.
But, remember the chalkboard they had that when they were teaching you writing was the 3 things on the metal? Do you guys remember that? The chalk would go across.
My youngest son is in 5th grade. I don't know if you've spent time in a 5th grade classroom recently. They can't write.
My youngest is a freshman in high school.
Okay, so maybe he's better off. I kind of blame COVID times. I don't know, because Jacob was in kindergarten.
COVID was tough
in
on my son. Yeah,
21. The fall of 2020 should have been the beginning of kindergarten for him.
Yeah,
which basically wasn't. So he didn't have kindergarten. They can't write. I mean, it's not just him. I was his class. I was his class mom for the last 2 years. You see the things that they write. Their handwriting. I'm scared of what's going to happen.
They don't teach script anymore.
No,
I don't think.
Well, they don't teach printing because they type everything.
Yeah.
And if you ask, I want my kid to handwrite things, then you're looked at like you're trying to be difficult. And I'm like, no, I just want my kid to be able to survive and write a grocery list that somebody can read.
Right.
Because they can't.
Right.
Off topic. You want me to come back and talk about educational reform?
Episode 2.
I'll never be invited back.
I should have written it out instead of typed it. I'm sorry.
No, we've always joked like our kids have a child advocate for a mother, and the educational professionals in their life look at them like, oh no, look who's coming again.
But you're seeing it from a couple different points of view. You're seeing it from your own children, and you're seeing it from the work you do.
It's hard as a kid in today's world with the technology. Even if you have everything else, it's too much. It's way too much. So for our kids,
here we are making a video.
So everybody's like, oh, you want to help the kids in foster care have access to, I'll say, technology that everybody else does, whether it's a cell phone or a computer. And we do, because we don't want them to be more isolated, and we need them to be able to communicate with all of us and with everybody else. But there's just as many negatives to it. So sometimes I think like it's not a bad thing.
My feeling, I think they need to teach kids how to use these.
Yes. Yeah. Which nobody does. They just hand them to them.
Right. Like if you think about it, we just get them for our kids, and we just, okay, good luck. And we try to regulate some things on them and whatnot, but it would be great to teach them how to use this.
Yeah. I have a good friend who...
maybe there's an app for that.
Yeah. The problem is the kids know how to use the app better than you. I was very lucky that when my kids both got their first phones, I have a good friend who does a lot of home security system, IT type of stuff. And he's like, we're going to set up your system differently. And all my kids' devices are on a separate Wi-Fi, which turns off at 8:30 p.m. and doesn't turn back on until 7 a.m.
Okay.
So they can't do anything. Their phone might work.
Right.
They can't do anything.
Right.
It took them a while to figure out that's what it was.
Right.
Why does your phone...
The network's down again.
They're like, why does your phone still work, Mom? And I'm like, we'll talk about that later. When you're 25, I will tell you.
Yeah. Special access. So 2 children.
Yes.
2 boys.
Yes.
I know this, but can you share?
I have 2 boys. Depending on the day, they either love me or hate me.
One of them swims in the ocean when it's like 20 degrees out.
They both do.
They both do. Yeah, I've seen this on the Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to say, you obviously watch it Facebook.
I've seen the Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. Today is like the first week of May.
Yeah.
I think my youngest, who's 11 now, he was this year rather, he was in the ocean first, probably like middle of March.
Yeah. Wasn't that literally right after
but you post a picture or video, they don't look cold.
No.
It's crazy.
He doesn't. I don't know. It's their whole lives, both of them.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't have the same bloodline. I don't know, but yeah, they're both on the Pines Lake swim team in the summer, so they're absolutely fish. No matter what the body of water is, they don't discriminate as long as it's water.
Right.
My oldest is a freshman at Passaic County Tech in the dance program. So tonight is actually his spring dance concert. We're very excited to see him dance ballet for the first time.
Oh, fantastic! Wow. Yeah. I remember seeing the ballroom dancing videos you posted.
He grew up doing ballroom,
which was extraordinary, like professional. Yeah. Looks like a professional. I mean, I don't know if he's a professional, but it looks like professional ballroom. It's extraordinary.
He started at 10 in Pompton Lakes at the Ballroom Dance House in Pompton Lakes and found his love. I don't know where he got that from either because I have 2 left feet and my husband is 100% Dutch, so he definitely cannot dance. But yeah, he's having a great time at Passaic County Tech. It's been an amazing high school for him.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you go to a program like that, are you learning obviously dance, but are you learning like the traditional subjects as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's the same high school requirements as everybody else,
right? Yeah.
Plus then some. So he does his morning core, English, math, science, all that, and then the rest of the day he's got I think by the time you take out breaks and everything, it's about 2.5 hours of actual dance each day.
Wow.
He's in way better shape than any of the rest of us.
Good for him.
Commitment. Dance is a bit.
Yeah, he's the only boy in his class of freshmen. So I think just from a confidence standpoint, I don't think I could have done it.
Good for him.
So I was really excited when he decided to pursue
that.
Do
it,
and we'll see what happens. It doesn't mean it's going to be a career, but
right. But it's a passion for him, obviously.
I said for the first time, he is thrilled to go to school and to find a kid who doesn't complain about going to school because he knows he gets to dance all day.
Right.
If that's what it takes for him to tolerate, algebra and biology, then dance away.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with him on a show.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Do you say good luck still? I don't know what you say.
Sure. Break a leg.
Break a leg?
I don't know.
I didn't want to say that.
Hopefully you don't say break a leg.
But that was a good thing.
I'm a bad dance mom. I'm like...
That that was a thing. Like when you're on Broadway, you would never say good luck. You'd say go break a leg, which to me just seems so odd.
I say good luck to my daughter.
Does she dance?
She's in dance.
Yeah.
But I mean, little dance. Like,
I don't know.
She's not holding it against you yet.
I don't know, Gary. You better research this. You might be saying the wrong thing.
I'll chat you.
Does she get mad at you when you say? Does she get mad at you?
I'll rely on technology a little bit more.
When you say good luck, does she get mad at you?
She's too little to know what he does.
I'm just kidding. Well, that's awesome. Well, good luck to him.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's fun. And that's the great thing about living in Wayne is there's just so many opportunities. If you told me 5 years ago my son would be dancing as a freshman in high school, I never would have. I would have told you were crazy.
Wayne has you're right. Wayne, I've had this conversation a number of times. Whatever you're into, Wayne's
exactly. As I said, my younger son absolutely doesn't dance. He's into horseback riding, and he rides at North Jersey Equestrian Center on 23.
Right.
So very different kids, and they've right here without leaving town.
Right.
Have access to whatever they want.
Right. Which is awesome.
An abundance of access.
Yes.
There's so many different leagues. Organizations.
Whatever the sport is you want to do.
Yes.
We've got it. We've got it at every level, from entry level all the way up to elite training, and which is, taking it back to my professional day-to-day life, it's frustrating because kids in foster care, even when they live in Wayne, don't have access to that. So that's one of the things that we hope, that we can break down those walls for each and every child that we work with.
Is it a monetary thing or is it something else?
Usually it's financial. Financial and the logistics of scheduling. They don't have someone who's willing to do all
bring them back and forth.
You know how hard transportation is just for one kid doing one sport.
Parent Uber,
A child in foster care doesn't have access to that. Plus they're juggling other commitments that are required by the foster care system for therapy, for visitations, for other types of services, and often the time doesn't exist. Unfortunately.
So I just had an idea as we're sitting here, almost like a scholarship for kids to participate in sports
activities. Yeah. That's always a need of. I'll say it's always an unmet need.
Yeah.
Sometimes
chamber fundraiser
or something. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I will never shut down a fundraiser.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. Is there anything else as we're kind of getting towards the end of this thing that you want to talk about, child focus, that we didn't touch, or an appeal to our audience and say, hey?
I would say if you have a heart for kids, particularly kids, in a tough place or, at risk of really maybe not having a stable forward home, reach out, because even if you can't volunteer or even if you can't donate, there's always something that somebody can do. I think our organization has grown in so many different ways that it's just there is a place to plug in almost any type of interest. Sometimes it's not, like you said, sometimes it's not the most obvious thing, but we through talking about it, realize, oh wait, we could use you to help with this thing over here.
Sure.
And we're local. Most people don't realize where we are because
tell them where you are.
Where's
and
it?
we're hidden. So we're on Hamburg Turnpike, which everybody knows where that is. In 415 Hamburg Turnpike is our actual address. So if you know where the Habitat Restore is, we're in that complex, but farther back off of actual Hamburg Turnpike.
Right, and it's right by the Passaic County Sheriff's
Yes,
Office.
or you turn by the Sheriff's Department and go down past that. We're on the left a little bit.
Right.
So
one thing I thought of, you have the Tricky Tray.
yes.
What
June
other
1st.
what other events do you guys have that people could participate in?
So the gala is our largest financial fundraising event every year, which is also in Wayne, because there's a theme going on. We host it at Preakness Hills Country Club. This will be our 9th year, I think. We might have skipped a year in the middle for COVID, but I think this is
you
the
did
9th
something.
year.
You guys were dressed up in the office. You guys did something during COVID, didn't you?
We did a podcasty kind of
Yes.
virtual fundraiser.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. I forgot about that. Yep.
That was the games. We had the games. I remember that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But this year it's October 2nd at Preakness Hills Country Club. We're always looking for, obviously, people to come, but also sponsors, tons of corporate sponsorship opportunities. There's an ad journal. It is absolutely the best dressed event in all of Wayne, I
There you
will
go.
say.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a night out, just fun, it's a great night to come out. That's our biggest. And then our other drives throughout the year. So like you said, school supplies over the summer, we do the school supply collection and drive. Usually the due date is middle of August or so. And then before the holidays, we do a big holiday wish drive. We really kind of different than other organizations. We make sure that our kids get their actual wishes fulfilled, not just a generic age appropriate gift. So each of our kids, one of the like activities that advocates do with them in the fall is they prepare a wish list, the same as I'm sure your kids and my kids definitely have done, a Santa list.
Right.
And then we use that to share with donors, so donors can adopt specific kids' wishes for the holiday season.
Oh, that's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm such a fan of what you guys do. I mean, I think it's absolutely extraordinary. The fact that you guys are right here in Wayne, I think is great for Wayne that people can contribute and be a part of it.
And come visit. We're happy to give tours and show people around.
Yeah, that's all. If they want to do that, they just make a phone call.
Yeah, just give us a call. Anybody, I make an appointment.
Yeah, don't just show up.
Yeah,
we're here.
We're happy for people to stop by too, but sometimes we may not always be available, and I would hate to say like, sorry, I don't have time right now.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, we're happy to. We do have volunteer opportunities for groups from time to time, obviously scheduled in advance. So if you have a group of people who are looking to do something, usually it's in the store, sorting, tagging, inventorying, because of confidentiality. They can't work directly with the kids.
Right.
But there's other ways that you can still support the kids by doing some of that back office kind of stuff.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Thanks for
being
having
on
me.
our podcast on the Wayne Chamber Chat. It was awesome to have you here, and I hope our audience really got to learn a little bit more about Child Focus.
Definitely.
And it's a group right here in Wayne where you can have an impact on a child. Children they're innocent. They're innocent in this whole thing. So, for your ability to be able to do that right here is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do. It's so important for them to have that stability and that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody to speak up for them in a time that they need it. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's a job with passion for sure. People don't, whether you're a volunteer or our staff, are here because they all care about kids, and kids don't come into foster care because of something they did.
Right.
They're, like you said, they're innocent and they're just stuck in the crossfire, unfortunately, too often.
Right.
Glad to have the support of Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll keep supporting Child Focus.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Erica, for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you, Gary, for helping today.
Well, thanks, Christian. Great to be here.
Awesome. And thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it.